Shom is asking, is Electron also an engine? No, Electron is just a framework to build desktop applications. Okay, your Teams, your VS Code, right? All those applications have been built using Electron. Yeah, I see a few responses. Ashish, line by line versus at once. Okay, interpreter executes line by line, compiler compiles code in one go. Exactly. Ajinkya, Ashish, Shri, Onkar. Onkar, you can post all your responses with to everyone. Need not to send private to me. Line by line, machine portability, interpreter. Yeah. So yeah, most of the guys have got the right answer. So basically what interpreter will do, right? Suppose I have one line, okay, const obj equal to that object, right? I have just one line, right? And second line, I have const array equal to that array. So we have two lines, right? So what interpreter will do, it will one by one, line by line, it will execute, okay? The second time, once we have suppose a bigger function, right, with 10 lines of code in a one, so all one by one line, the interpreter will execute the code. On the other hand, compiler, what it will do, it will just take the code at once, and then it will compile it to bytecode, and then it will execute. Okay, so that's what's the basic difference. So okay, let me know which one will be faster. Compiler will be faster or interpreter will be faster? Oh, most of the guys got the wrong answer here. If you are saying compiler, no, absolutely no. Interpreter, right? Yeah, a few guys, I can see the interpreter as a response. Yeah. So guys, if you see, right, interpreter will be faster, right? Because suppose if you have 10 lines, right, 5 lines after you check, right? After 5 lines, the 5 lines will be executed, right? But still, if you check after 5 lines, or suppose if you set one time, right? After that, you don't see compiled code, because that is still till 5 line only, right? By that time. So interpreter will be faster. Compiler will be more optimized, I should say. So what compiler will do, it will take the code at once. It will see that if we have some scope of optimization, if it is, it will optimize that code, and then it will create the bytecode for execution. So that's why. So the reason why we have both the things, right? The name is JIT compiler. So what is JIT is just in time. If somebody asks, right? Okay. So the interview questions, right? Initial interview questions in the first round, people will be asking, okay, tell me if JavaScript is compiled language or interpreted language. So there you guys have, you can tell that, okay, it's a JIT compiled language. What is JIT? Just in time. So what it will do, so basically on the right hand side, if you see just a V8 engine, how does that JS engine by Google works. So basically it will take all that, like I told you, right? We have 2 lines of code, right? So the parser will basically take that code and it will convert into tokens, different tokens. Suppose I have, okay, just let me write in the chat box. Suppose if I have this const obj equal to this line, right? Okay, so can you tell me like how many tokens will be created after this line? Const obj equal to this. How about semicolon? Yeah, exactly. 5 tokens. So parser will be converting that to 5 tokens. Okay. And that 5 tokens will be fed to AST. What exactly is AST? Is abstract syntax tree. I'll show you one example also in the web, how we see that abstract syntax tree. After that AST, right? The resultant tree will be fed to interpreter. Okay. That interpreter, what it will do, it will just execute the entire code. Okay, and then it will just send to compiler. That compiler will see that, okay, if do we have some scopes of like optimizing it. In case if I can optimize, that compiler will optimize that code, and at the end we'll get the optimized code, and that optimized code will be in the form of bytecode, right? We can say that bytecode will be converted at the end of this entire process into machine code. Machine code, you know, it's like 0011 only binary, because our computer just understand one language, which is binary. Okay, whatever languages you know, right? JS, Python, Java, all these are what application level programming languages, right? We have C++ also. They are system level programming language, but all those languages at the end converted to some bytecode or interpreted code, I should say. Assembly level code also, if you guys have heard. But at the end, all that bytecode and all should be converted back to machine code so that our CPU, our microprocessors can understand that code and execute it, okay, in the form of results, what you see, right? Machine, like suppose your system is going on and off and something like that. So that's all about the basic understanding of JS engine compilation execution, guys, of JavaScript code. Yeah, so don't worry about the token, guys. Token, you can see here everything. Suppose const is a token. So every word or after a space you divide, right? Anything is considered, can be considered as a token here. AST is abstract syntax tree. Okay, so if you guys are interested, let me just quickly go back to my Chrome. One second, guys. I think I have closed that entire session. We have, okay, August is slide. Yeah, so I was just telling you about that AST, right? AST. So we have one, if you can see right here, this AST Explorer.net. Let me just ping that in the chat box for you. So as I was telling you, right, how this works, right? Okay, let me just remove this code and let me write const obj equal to, or let's just take that, okay, name equal to couple. Yeah, you can see on the right hand side, see how it is, like this is the way I am giving, and this is how the tree our engine, JS engine, will be creating. It will be saying that, okay, it's a program. What is the variable declaration? Yeah, do we have line number, starting line number, end line number? What kind of it used? Okay, it used const. If you want in the tree form, if you want in the JSON form, both. Okay, I hope it's clear to you guys now. Abbas, so basically it is interpreted first and then compiled. Both the things JS engine will be doing. Okay. Yeah, so time for the activity number 1, guys. I just want you to quickly open your Replit account. Okay, I'll tell you how to start with that. Okay, so this is how I have created. So I just want you to, for like 9 live sessions we have, right? So just create 9 folders here. For all folders, just don't change my content, right? Because it will be for everyone, whatever like activities will be solving throughout the sessions. Like I'll be updating here, whatever the concepts I'll be explaining, I use this Replit only. I will suggest all of you to create your own Replit account. Just go to this Replit website, go to that create one. Yeah, this plus sign you can say, if you will click, right, you will find that whatever name if you want, right? Node.js, just select Node.js, give name that Cryo Foundation Sprint 1 or whatever you feel. Once you create the Replit, since I have created, I'm not creating once again. August 1, yeah, so this is the one, this is one. So by default, I guess you will be having that index.js file. If you click on the code part and how to run that, if I tell you, then yeah. So by default, if you run that Replit, it will be index.js file, which is just a standard from Node.js or from Replit site. I'll tell you how you can run your own, like all these folder files, right? So again and again that, okay, let us know that how to start with Replit. This is my index.js file. Okay, suppose here, if just write console.log. Welcome to the Cryo Foundation series. Sprint number 1. Okay, if I just simply run it, it will be, yeah, see here, it will be running in the console. So you can see right here we have 3 things: console, shell, and markdown. Markdown is just for this readme file, so don't worry about that. I'll be just updating in after like every session. So console will be by default if you run the index.js file, but I would suggest to create node space the name of your file along with the folder structure will be your file. Yeah, so currently we have nothing here. So there is no output in the console. This is called a console, where we can see the output of all our questions, all our programs, activities. This is left hand side. We have the editor. We'll be writing our code here. I have everything is fine with you guys for now. So first question is, first activity, if you go right, first activity is just a print hello world using JavaScript. Okay. So I am giving you just 2 minutes of time to print hello world on this console. Okay. Everyone just do in your own Replit. It is 8:34. For all the activities we'll be sharing throughout program, right? I'll be giving you particular time as needed for the activity. Okay, 8:34, 8:36, I'm giving you guys to set up all the Replit thing and write your first ever program in case you are that newbie or first time you're learning JavaScript, writing programs. So write your own program. Don't worry about the markdown. If you create readme.md file, you will get that. We are just focusing on console and shell. Pramod is asking about how to create folders. Yeah, here we have those two buttons, folders and files. Subarna, delete that Python you have created, or just go to that home page, right, and create new Replit with Node.js. Yeah, exactly. We'll be following that only. Yeah. So I think everybody got into Replit, their first file, and they have written their first program ever. Okay, so basically how we'll be writing that is console.log is hello world. Yeah, so this is our first program, guys. I'll be just going here. I'll be writing node session1 file, and if we come here, you can see that hello world as an output. So that's what is the first program. Congratulations to everyone who have written their first program using JavaScript. We'll be like learning and writing around hundreds of programs throughout this program, the sprint. Okay. A few guys are still struggling. So you guys have to go to shell tab, not console. Basically, if you run right, if you click on the run, what it will run is just this index.js file. Don't worry about that. Just create your folder, create your own file. And after that, just go to the shell tab. We have 3 here, right? You might have 2, console and shell. Go to shell tab, write node space, your folder, your file name, and then just try to run. Okay. Yep. So that's about, all about our first program. What exactly is console is? It's an global, I should say, global object of JavaScript. Anywhere, if you feel right, in any framework, any library, if you want to write console, right, you can use that console. We have console.log. We have different. If I just tell you, right, this is how we go to inspect element console. Yeah. Let me tell you like what other consoles things we have. Suppose you write just console.yeah. See, all these methods are available for console object. Console.clear, console.count, console.table, console.log info. Basically, we'll be using log only, but yeah, in case you just want to take, just log the timer starting of the program and ending of the program, and that's how you can find out your function how much time that is taking. Okay, that's how it all these properties are. So if you want, you can use any of these anytime. If you use if you do like that, it will be in red color. See, this is how. That's all about the console. So, okay, how many of you can tell that, like, how many ways you guys know to print anything in the JavaScript? There's just one thing which I told you. What all other ways you can print this thing to as a console or to the output? Yeah, Ashu, you are right. Document.write, alert, right? You can use alert also. Yeah. So basically, if you just want write alert, let's see, will it work or not? Hello world from alert. I'll quickly go to and run it. Yeah, I'm getting an error because alert is not of Node.js. Okay, so few guys are still saying that, sir, I can't see my output. Finally printed window.alert, document.alert, get element by ID, alert, right? Yeah, so you guys are like absolutely right. We have prompt also, right? We have prompt. Yeah, so basically, I guess in the last Replit, I have explained quite of other ways also. Yeah, and apart from that, if you just want to print HTML, CS and all, right, for that we have to create another Replit using this pillars, like pillars of web I have created. So where you can write all that HTML, CS and JavaScript code. For now, we are just learning JavaScript. We don't need to interact with HTML and CSS, but in case if you want, yeah, that's how you can create. And if you guys will be running that, that will give like its own output in its own way. Okay, if I run it, this is how that console and this is how the response will be, like whatever we have in this script here. Suppose we have this window.alert, window.confirm, window.prompt, right? If you guys have pointed out these three things also. So we have these three things. Apart from that, we have document.write also. I guess my Replit account is hanging. It should be running all this. Okay, and the reason why we are not able to use window and alert here, because in Node.js we don't have a window object, right? Window object is like always will be for some browsers, any browsers you use. Node.js is the, you can say, for used for backend JS programming, right? So it doesn't have all these browsers kind of by default inbuilt methods, right? So it will be having it won't be having window, it won't be having that built alert and all. So that's why I have just another Replit you can create using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It should be running. Okay, let me just try to refresh it. If you guys are still getting errors like module not found, unable to run the code, the way I told you, you have to follow the same way. Go to shell and just try after writing node space your name, and then only you will be able to run. Okay. Fahad, could you show me again? Okay, I guess I have already shown you two times, but still, yeah, see here. We have this index.js file. We have here how to add file. If I add a folder, we have created a folder. Inside that, we have created a file, and that particular file, if I go to shell tab, I'll be going node space session1/session1.concepts, and that's how if I run, I'll get my output in the console. In the shell tab, you need to go. I guess it's clear by now. It should be clear to you. And what?
But why we are not getting this printed in this shell ke bagal wala tab? I guess it's console. Yep.
Like I told you, right? If you by default, if you run anything on Replit, it will be index.js file. Okay, if you want to run or just want to show the output in console, you have to write in that index.js file. See, I have written one console.log here. If I just click on run, it will show me on the console.
Got it.
Yeah, it's just the default for Replit. But what I want is my file, my folder, then I have to go to shell, I have to run particular file name. Okay. Yeah, exactly. So that's all about our first activity, guys. We have completed that. And we also got to learn that how this Replit works by now, I guess. Okay, for yeah, I was just showing you this. I'm not sure why it's not running. It should be running. Okay, okay. Let me just show it to you. And this. Yeah, see here, this is my own Chrome console. You guys can also open. Sometimes this Replit gets hanged. Okay, in case it is hanged, just go to switch to your Chrome console and try everything. Everything will be running smoothly, very smoothly here in the console Chrome. See hello alert if you want, right? You guys wanted to know about that prompt also, how that prompt will work. So here, if I write, okay, if I write window.alert, then what will be happening, guys? In case of this, right? If I write window.alert, then also it will be same. As I told you, right? Window is a global object in JavaScript, basically for the browsers, right? So all the browsers will be having window. If you write window.alert or if you write just alert, right? Then also everything will be working. Now let me write prompt. It is just prompt that, okay, you have been forwarded to particular link or something like that, okay, to link ABC. Yeah, see here. Or if you have to ask any question, right? Okay, tell me your age, or just a quick question. Suppose you have your own website, your own portfolio website, and you want every visitor to just enter their name or age or phone number or whatever, right? You can use prompt as a first line of your code. So as soon they will be loading, they will get this pop-up. Okay, I can write anything and it will be, see, will be respond. It will be in the output. Third thing what I told you was confirm, right? Yeah, confirm is basically for that output, right? So okay, suppose like, should I, do you know JavaScript? If I write like that, let's see what it will be. Yeah, see, if I cancel it, the output will be false. If I again try to run it, if I say okay, and this will be, so it is returning basically Boolean response. I guess enough for printing. Next, we have this data types in JavaScript, guys. I hope by now everything is clear and I'm not rushing towards the next topics. Okay, let me know quickly in the chat box how you feel about my pace, like the way I'm teaching, right? Is it fine with you, or I can go a little faster, or I should be a little slower? All good, fine. Okay, it is okay. Okay. So guys, next topic is data types in JavaScript. Okay, it's a very important topic throughout our journey with JavaScript. After this program also, you guys will be like daily interacting with data types. So it's better to understand what exactly are data types in our preliminary sessions, or I should say the first session only, okay? So we have two types of data types in JavaScript. First is primitive. Okay, so we'll try to understand that, okay, why exactly is primitive? Primitive data types which are predefined by JavaScript, okay? So they have, okay, we have suppose 6 or 7 types of primitive data types in JavaScript. So those data types, if you create any variable and you assign like that kind of that type of data to those variables, so you won't be able to change that. Suppose we have one number, okay? If I say, okay, number is 5. So that 5 you won't be able to change throughout this JavaScript runtime environment. That 5 will be always 5, okay? So that's why you cannot change that. And that's why it is primitive. And those are inbuilt and predefined and given by JavaScript. So that's a standard. You cannot give your own, you cannot make your own primitive data type until and unless approved by ECMAScript. So basically, initially we have 5 Boolean, null and undefined. Those are 2 special primitive data types. I'll come back to that. Don't worry. Basically, you just focus that, okay, we have one number. So if you are coming from Python or Java or some other background, guys, I'm not sure what they have primitive data types, but in JavaScript particularly, we don't have float, double, or something like that. We just have number, okay? Just numbers. It takes, I guess, 64-bit unsigned integers, you can say. But we don't use float or double, right? It will be like error, syntax error it will give. So we have number for numbers, integers, floats, doubles. We have strings for collection of characters. We have Boolean for true and false, as I just shown it to you. Negative numbers, Vishwajit, yeah, you can store in number only. Number will take, as I told you, right? Unsigned. It is not signed. So you can have unsigned also. Null and undefined are two special. Okay, I'll discuss that in the next slides. Apart from that, we have non-primitive data types. Okay, so on the right hand side, if you see, right, we have primitive values, true, false, strings, numbers, right. Other, we have non-primitive. Non-primitive data types is like user defined. Okay, I have like I can define like what kind of data my array or my object will be holding on its own. Okay, so we have few non-primitive data types like objects, arrays, functions, date, regex. All these are the example of non-primitive data types. I can store like numbers also to my array, objects also to my array, boolean, null, undefined, whatever primitive data types I want, right? I can store to my array or I can store that to my object. That's why we have distinguished it between two terms, primitive and non-primitives. Now, yeah, as I told you, like, so undefined and null, right? This is another quick programming like interview questions. If you go for first round of JavaScript, right? People will be asking, okay, what do you understand by undefined and null in JavaScript? Sometimes you will see error as not defined also. I'll come back to that, don't worry. So basically, let's try to understand all these primitive data types. So undefined means unintentionally missing values. So, okay, we are not sure that, okay, why our variable is undefined, but if it shows undefined or if it is undefined in the output, that means unintentionally, because I don't know, it could be any reason that we have undefined, right? Basically, JavaScript engines, once you declare any variable, right? So first thing what they are going to assign is undefined only. So at that time, JS will assign. After that, your program anyhow, somehow like if it undefined means the missing value, there is no value for that variable, right? That is what undefined means. That is not defined and that doesn't carry any values. Null, on the other hand, what we understand by null is intentionally missing value. Okay, I can assign null to any variable, right? That means, okay, I know that that variable is holding null values. Null value means no values. Undefined means there is no value at all. For null, we have value. What value? No value. Okay, no value means no strings, no number, no boolean, no undefined. So all these things are like null. Okay, undefined means Anwar is asking, undefined is like default. Undefined will be first thing which will be assigned to your variables by a JavaScript engine. Okay. Ajay, undefined and null are falsy values. I'll come back to that, like what all are falsy values and truthy values. Okay, in JavaScript, basically yes, undefined, null, false, all these are falsy values.
Could I put an example for that?
Yeah, definitely. I'll explain them through Replit. Don't worry.
I can put an example for that.
So you want to share something?
Yeah, I'll just speak out an example.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, like guys, if we are executing a code and we are checking for like I equal to 0, I less than XYZ, I plus plus. If we are checking this kind of thing, or we are checking if something is greater than 0, and that's
throughout the sessions we'll be discussing about null and defined. So don't worry. At some point of the time you will get it if you are not getting it first. So next two newly added primitives we have as a symbols and begins. We are not going to discuss these two in this sprint one because they are little advanced. Basically, symbols are used to set unique keys. Our objects are definitely, they will be having strings as keys, right? But now we have a new data type, what we call it as symbols. We can assign that to our object keys as well. Apart from that, as I told you, right, few programming hackathons, few guys are complaining that, okay, why I'm not able to use JavaScript because it is not able to handle big numbers, right? If they are like bigger 32-bit or 64-bit or more than that, right? In that case, that they are not, that is a purpose like ECMAScript has introduced us to big ints. Even it's just for math, like using like for big numbers, right? We are not going to discuss that much. So basically we will be focusing on our first 5 primitive data types and a lot of non-primitive data types. Okay. Okay. Next topic is expressions. I'll explain that undefined, defined once again, guys. Don't worry. Expressions. So basically expressions are some questions, right? You ask JavaScript to answer. Okay. So if I ask 2 plus 2, right? what JavaScript will print? It will print 4. So I'm asking JavaScript, okay, so what will be the output of 2 plus 2 or whatever expressions I'll give? So that's just an expression. You can say you can say, okay, it's a question which JavaScript can answer. If you write console log 2 plus 2, the output will be 4. So the response, what JavaScript has given in is a single value. So that's how. So whenever you use, right, a bigger expression, suppose greater than equal to, less than equal to, plus, minus, whatever, right, at the end, that all will be returning just one value. So that's how the expressions are. Not some important thing to discuss now. It's just that we have expressions also in JavaScript. Okay, I hope you guys might be aware of this BODMAS rule. So, okay, we'll be quickly discussing this mathematical operators and precedence. Okay, what we have is brackets will be given preference at most, and then this DMR means division, multiplications, and this remainder thing. I hope you might be aware of like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. How do we do that, right? In programming languages, any programming languages, these things are like pretty common. So precedence, it's quite important because a lot of questions can be created out of this precedence also, and using different of mathematical operators. General multiplication, then it will follow from left to right. That's what is the simple rules we have. And at the end, it will be addition and subtraction. Okay, now just quickly jump back to our Replit and time for activity number 2. I would give you guys again like 2 or 3 minutes to complete this activity. Basically, what we need to do is we have to console log few expressions, whatever you guys feel like 2 plus 2, 5 into 15, all these mathematical operators or string concatenation you want, whatever you want, right? You can use. Just try to print a few things through console log, and we'll learn how to evaluate expressions in JavaScript. If you want these examples, I guess you have access to this. You can write. Yeah, exactly, in same files. Yeah. So whatever activities we'll be discussing, right? What I would suggest, okay, to create file in session 1 folder, activity 1, and now activity number 2, and write whatever related code to activity number 2 to that particular file only, and run that. Okay, so suppose we have 5 activities for the one session, so you might be using 5 files. For this particular program, you can use the same one because it's quite simple and easy. Okay, so it is 8:57. I'll be giving just 2-3 minutes to you guys to play with console log, evaluating expressions, and all the mathematical operators and BODMAS rules. Okay, for now, I can go to my foundation. Okay, session1.concepts is quite simple. I can write like console log, right? Okay, I'll be writing 2 into 3 plus 5. So what will be the output of this, guys? Can you tell me after applying BODMAS rule? I'm not just running it. I'm just want your output. Okay, Ankit has 16. Nilesh, Hari Krishna, Natarajan, Fahad, Regin, Gauranga. Just excuse me, guys, if I just mispronounce your name, okay? Ruchita, Kaushik, Deepak, Mamta. Okay, if you guys are saying 16, let me just try to run. So I'll go to shell tab. I'll write node. I'll write session 1. This is my folder name. Now I'll write session again, and this is my file name, session1.concept. If I run it, let's see. Yeah. So you guys are absolutely right. It will print 16. How? So it will first go to this bracket because I told you, right? BODMAS has preference to brackets. It will evaluate the bracket first. So what inside the bracket is 5 plus 3, that is 8. And that it will come out and it will be into 2. So it will be 8 into 2, 16. That's how basically it works. Okay. Okay. And now I was telling you, right, the difference between defined and undefined. Okay, I'll come back to that once you will be learning how to declare your variables. At that time, I'll tell you. For now, okay, so we have completed 2 basic activities for this first session. Now let's quickly jump to next slide and let's see what we have to learn next. Yeah, okay guys. Next we have variables. Okay, so quick question again. What do you understand by variables? Let me know in the chat box, guys, quickly. To store a specific value, to store data, storing memory location, name of a storage location, pointer to the location where our value is stored. Okay, Vishwajit has given a correct answer, I guess. Containers where we store our value. Yeah, absolutely right, Tyasha. Deepak, dynamic values not fixed. Okay, value holder. So one is also right. Can change at runtime. Okay, that we'll see. With respect to JavaScript, holds address of a stack. Okay, named memory location. Okay. So exactly, yeah, you guys are, almost of you are absolutely right. Variables are just as placeholders, you can say, which will be pointing out to particular memory location in our RAM. Whenever I say memory, right, that memory will be our RAM only, right, random access memory. So in the random access memory, we have two types of memory. Okay, so all the languages probably we will be just focusing on JavaScript. We'll be having two kind of memories. One will be stack, and second will be heap. Okay, so as I told you, right, you understand by primitive data types and non-primitive data types. So primitive data types will be stored in stack. Okay, always. This is just a thumb rule you can understand. And all other non-primitive data types we have, right, objects, arrays, functions, all that will be stored in heap. So we have two kinds of memories. We'll be discussing about that. So what exactly is variable and where like variable will be stored? So as I told you, that few guys have pointed out, okay, it's a placeholder, it's a container. Yeah, you are right. So it's basically a variable. Why we call it a variable? Because it can vary. Okay, the value which it stores, it can vary. Suppose now my variable is pointing to one string, next time it can point to number also, next time it can point to object also, it can change also. That's why it's variable, right? It can vary. And it's just a placeholder. It's just a container which will be pointing to some memory location, definitely. So there are three identifiers we have to create variables in JavaScript. We have var, let, and const. Let and const will be have, I guess, introduced after ES6. ES6 was ECMAScript version which was launched in 2015, which brought major changes in JavaScript ecosystem. Now, if you see, right, there are two things: assignments and declarations, and initialization. Okay, so I would say declaration and initializing a variable. So there are two things we are going to learn about these variables. I'll go to, okay, let me just okay, let me explain with this GIF, and I'll go to Replit and I'll explain you how that works. So basically, if you see, right, okay, let pet equal to narwhal we have. So this let is just a keyword, reserved keyword with JavaScript, right? You cannot name your variable let, it will give error because it's a reserved keyword. We have, like all programming languages have their own set of reserved keywords. If we write let pet equal to narwhal, then that pet is a memory address, you can say, a placeholder which will be pointing to narwhal. Later point of time, if you want to change it, vary it, it can be pointing to the Kraken, right? The way you can see. So that's how we are calling them variables. Okay, they can point to different values. Okay, let me just quickly go to my Replit and explain you some basic things. Okay, now we have come to variables. Okay, so as I told you, right, we have three things: var, let, and const. Will be this is another quick important questions. Very, very important for interviews, like the difference between var, let, and const in JavaScript. Almost like 99% of chances, if you start with first round in JavaScript, and your interviewer will be asking you this question. If I write var not name, okay, let me write cryodo. Okay, let first name equal to, you guys can try your own name. Okay, one second, it's let. You can see the color, like different color, because these are reserved keywords. Okay, so all the editors will be having some different syntax. Equal to, I'm just writing quickly mine. Yeah, if I try to console.log, this is how we log. Let me write name, and then quickly I'll be copying first name, last name, and we'll be checking out, right? Yeah, you can see cryo2 space couple space Ragochi. So that's what is declaring and initializing variable. So as I told you, right, two important topics we'll be discussing. So okay, in this line, if I just write, I'll come back to that undefined define now. If I just write let obj, or for now let abc. Okay, so if I write this much, guys, what do you think, right? What like, have I initialized my variable? No. Okay, so what I did so far is let is a reserved keyword I have used to declare our variable. Okay, so for now, if you see line number 16, I have just declared a variable. What is the name of variable? ABC. If I write let ABC equal to, suppose I have written, right, let ABC equal to 15. Here all I have used is strings, and this I have used numbers. If I write this statement now, so what do you understand by this statement? That okay, we have used one reserved keyword to initialize to declare a variable, and that variable name is ABC, and we have initialized also in the same line. How we have initialized? Okay, so I have one variable name, placeholder name ABC. It will be pointing to some memory location, and that memory location I am storing my number. Okay, I guess now it is fine with you. So that's how. Okay, so I was telling you, right? Okay, if I not doing this ABC. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Undefined, but why undefined? Hoisting, no value, not initialized, not exactly. So whoever has written the answer that it is not initialized, those guys are absolutely right. Since we haven't initialized it, right? That's why it is undefined. I told you, right? By default, JavaScript will assign one value. What value? Undefined, unintentional. Okay, unintentionally no values. Okay, now instead of this, let me assign let ABC equal to null. What now this ABC1 will be having? Okay, let me just start with some new variable name. Okay, what this ABC1 will be printing out now, guys? 0, 0, null. Okay, let's just check quickly. See, it's null. So null is intentionally, because I know I don't want to put any value to ABC1 for now. Okay, suppose we are starting with this. This is first line of code. I just don't want, because I don't know what this variable might hold. It might hold a string. It might hold an boolean. For now, I don't know. I can assign it a null. Okay, that null means no values. What no values? No strings, no boolean, no numbers. Okay, that's what no value. So these, I hope by now you might have understood the difference between null and undefined. Okay. Interviewer can also ask, okay, what do you understand by not defined and undefined? Let me tell you that. I'm just writing this for you guys. Okay, so quickly after this, anytime you can go to this replit and I can revise all these topics. Okay, undefined. Yeah, if I just write ABC, right? Okay, and I just try to console log, guys. What will be the output here? Okay, instead of ABC, let me write anything like OBJ. OBJ, since we haven't run, so let me not write it. Let me just write age. What this age will print, guys? Exactly, not defined. Yeah, Sai, Gaurav, Deepanshu, Vishwajit is saying error. Okay, let's check that what error we'll get. Yeah, so exactly, not defined is an error. Why it is giving? Because it is not defined, right? We haven't declared it. What exactly is age? JavaScript doesn't know. Even we don't know, right? What is age? Right? We haven't declared. Suppose anything will be declared in JavaScript using these three things only. If it is not, that means it is not declared. Okay, and before using any variable, we have to declare it so that JavaScript can understand. Okay, it can allocate some particular memory to it, some special value it will assign. What it will be undefined, and later on you can assign anything, or your program can assign anything to that placeholder. But that placeholder has to be declared first before using. So this is how not defined, undefined, and null, guys. Okay. Now quickly come back to this variable also. As I told you, like we have three different things. Now let me quickly clear it. And yeah, so guys, I hope you guys have understood the difference between initialization. Okay, let me write here variable, declaration. Okay, so next time, next session onwards, I can quickly ask what is the difference between declaration versus initialization. So what you guys have to tell? Khushi, difference between where and let, I'll be explaining, don't worry. For now, quick interview questions are like, okay, what is the difference between declaration and initialization? What is the difference between non-defined, undefined, and null? Ashish, does memory allocation happen at the time of initialization? Basically, as I told you, right, before initializing, only memory allocation, or I should say memory, is given to our, once you declare, right, once you write this let ABC, right, so that special value I told you, right, undefined, it has been assigned by JavaScript by default. But particular value, if you want, right after initialization only it will be. But before that, JavaScript will assign undefined to that variable. Okay. What is the default variable? Default variable, no, variable is like what we create. Default global, you can ask, right? Default global in case of browsers, it will be window. Okay, you just write here window, right? See here, it's a global object by default. See this global. If you just write this also, I'll come back to every point. See this also same window because of this browser. If you write global, this is also same. See, everything is same in the Chrome console window. If you want in the Node.js, you can check. I'll come back to this and global this whenever I'll be teaching that. For now, I hope you have understood declaration, initialization, not defined, undefined, and null. Okay, so next slide says, guys, activity number 3. So I just want you to quickly jump to your Replit account, create activity number 3, and just declare some variables. Declare variable, assign some variable. Yeah, you can create activity number 3 and just use that. For now, or for this particular session, I'll be creating one file only. Now let where versus let versus const. Okay. I hope everything is fine by now. Okay. Now, quick question is, if you create your variable using where, okay, just try typing this thing. Okay, I'm printing in the chat box. Go to your Replit or Google Chrome console, wherever you are feeling comfortable. Go back. I have shared this. Tomorrow you will get a slide updated for the next session. You have everything. What I want is just go to this where greeter equal to say hello instead. Just define this variable, initialize this variable, and try to reassign this. That's what is the activity number 3. And let me know what output you are getting. Okay. So reassigning means, assignment means like the way I told you, right? It's a declaration, it's an initialization. And now again, if you want to assign some value to that, means that the way we did here. Yeah, ABC1 equal to null. And again, ABC1 equal to Kapil, if you will give, that's how is the reassignments. So I just want you guys to reassign to this where greeter and let me know what output you are getting. You guys might think that this is pretty basic, but guys, believe me, all these topics are very important. And if you just want to learn React, Angular, then you have to understand these fundamentals of JavaScript first. Then only you will be able to write any applications using React, Angular, Vue, or plain vanilla JavaScript also. Shell hanged. Yeah. Sometimes this is the case with Replit. Depends on your internet speed and all. Okay. Now let me just try what I just told you. Okay. So I have this where greeter say hello instead. Now what I'm typing is greeter equal to won't say hello. Okay. And I'm just consoling. So for everything, right? For always you want to print and see output, right? You have to print that in greeter using console log. Okay. So this is called reassignment, guys. What I'm doing is reassigning. What does this mean? That, okay, JavaScript has declared a variable called greeter using where, initialized with say hello as a string, but now I am just reassigning with, okay, instead of a string, let me just assign with a number. Okay. So, okay, before this, let me just try to run this program. Yeah, see, I am just getting one error. Okay, this was the age not defined error. Quickly, I'm just commenting that out. And now you can just uncomment that and check, okay, what was the error you are getting there. Yeah. See, guys, so what error we are getting is a reference error. Still it is coming. 1 second. Replit, sometimes it takes time, guys. Yeah. So now you can say, right, say hello. Dharma, we are going to use VS Code, Visual Studio Code for any JavaScript, right, React or Angular. Yeah, if you guys feel, right, Sankalp is feeling that they can practice their own machines or Chrome console, yeah, you can use any platform. But why we are choosing Replit? Because see, after 1 month also, if you come to this, all the files and folders will be available to you. They will be visible to you. You can come back to these and you can again just rerun them and check the outputs. That's why. So you can store all these activities, code and everything. That's why we are using Replit. Okay, so now I'm just reassigning it and again I'm checking. Okay, so what do you see? Now the greeter is saying it has value 55. Okay, so can you try the same thing with let also and const also? So this is how we are going to learn the difference between let, where and const. Okay, so now the same variable, just I'll change the variable. I'm going to assign and redeclare, reinitialize. Okay, suppose greeter1 I have here. Same thing I'm just doing, okay, but just a different variable name. Okay, so for let, if I do, and const if I do, right. So yeah, 55 say hello we are getting first time for where, second time we are getting for let, and third time, okay, if just you want me to write, I can write where. Okay, in order to understand. Okay, it was where, I guess it is let here. Okay, here it's const. So const, you see that it is giving one error, right? What? Assignment to constant variable. That means you cannot assign a variable which is you have declared using const after initialization. Got it? So that's what is a quick difference. Okay, so we are going to learn a bit more now. We have completed 3 activities. We are on time. So this is the table I think you guys should use. Don't worry about some topics like scopes and hoisting. I'm going to cover them in subsequent sessions. If not in week 1, then probably definitely somewhere in the week 2 also. So for now, we have 3 reserved variables, reserved keywords through which we can declare our variables in JavaScript. Okay, var, let, and const. So for var, if you see reassignments, we got for both, right? For var and let, both we were able to reassign the variable, right? But not const. Okay, so this is the second column, I should say. For third and fourth column, we'll be discussing later. But what about the first column? If I try to redeclare, okay, what do you mean by redeclare now? So by now you have learned about reassignment, right? What is redeclare? Okay, so what exactly is declare? Declaration, I told you, just to declare a variable. So this space is line number, I guess it was, line number 21 says that I am declared, right? That's what we have learned that about the declare. So now, instead of this, what I'm trying to do is I have learned reassignment. Let me just try to redeclare also once. Redeclare. This is quite important topic, guys. That's why I'm almost, as I told you, right, 95% chances are there that you will get this question as a first question of any JavaScript interview. So what I'm doing is, instead of this greeter, var greeter, I'm again writing var greeter and assigning what value? This time Boolean value, true, and printing again. Okay, let me just check. Yeah, so you can see here, see where I have first say hello, line number 28, and then I have 32, which is now 55, and now again. So I can redeclare, it seems like, right? I can redeclare with what to say, using var. Just quickly type the same thing using let. I'm just typing let greeter 1. Okay, and trying to put this 1 second. It should be 2 everywhere. Let me know if I have done any syntax mistake. Yeah, this one everywhere it will be greeter, 3 times greeter, 3 times greeter 1, and 3 times greeter 2. So forget about reassignment, guys. Constant we cannot like redeclare. Sorry, we cannot even reassign that. Since it's a constant, right? Constant means that, okay, it's a constant. We cannot change that thing. Okay, now let me quickly check what error we'll be getting. Yeah, see, let greeter 1 is true. Syntax identifier greeter 1 has already been declared. That means our first column says that, okay, let you cannot redeclare. Forget about const. Const is also not allowed. So this is what we have learned about two columns now. Okay, guys. Anytime if you have doubt, just come back to this Replit link. It is already shared in this website here. See, this is my slide deck, what I'm presenting, and here we'll be recording. Yeah, this is the link. Greeter 2, and yeah, so once if you comment that, then only we can go ahead and see that, right? Because this is a syntax error. You cannot redeclare variable if you have declared that variable using let. Okay, but for var we don't have any such restrictions, right? We can redeclare, we can reassign. I hope, guys, I'm clear to you. Let me know in the chat box if you have still any doubts regarding var, let, and const difference. No doubts. Yes, cleared. Yeah. Fantastic, guys. So the preference, what will be preference, right? You might ask these questions. Okay, guys, sir. So if we have this 3 things, right? What should we prefer? I would say everywhere you prefer const. But sometimes if you see that, okay, you have to change the variables, then use let. Don't use var ever. Unless you are writing some library in JavaScript for some specific purpose where you need that global scope and all. Stick to const and let always. Okay, guys. So time for activity number 4. Just quickly go back to session 1 folder, create your own file, says activity number 4. And what is the question is, just declare new variable using let, var, and const. What is the use of redeclaration? So yeah, that's what there is no specific use case for redeclaration. It's just that whatever we have, available, like these 2-3 things, right? Var, let, and const. So for that we are learning, okay, what we can do, like can we redeclare, can we reinitialize, or can we reassign that thing? That's why we are learning. There is no real use case if you see of redeclaration, but sometimes, yeah, if you are suppose if you have a couple of functions, right, and you have used one variable, the same function expects, okay, the second function expects the same variable name, then probably there you can use that, where you can redeclare that, you can reassign that. That's where we use that variable. But no interviewer will ask you this question, guys, Ajay, that what is the use of redeclaration? Yeah, how it can cause some challenges when we using where? Yeah, that could be the question. And that's what we have declared. You can say that, okay, what is the difference, sir? Where let const, we cannot reassign and redeclare in case of let in const, but for the where we can do, okay? Scope level, we have global and function here. Hoisting, yes, where gets hoisted variable, but variable declared using let in const gets hoisted, but in a special memory location, what we call them temporary dead zone. This abbreviation here, TDZ, is temporary dead zone. I'll be discussing this later sessions, no worry. So I hope, guys, you have completed activity number 4 by now. It is just simple to create and declare variables using let, where, and const. If you have any doubt, you can come back and here you can check this. I'll be just commenting out here, writing the syntax error it will give. Okay. And right. Still, if I try to run and let's see what it will give. Okay, now it will give this identifier has been already. Greeter 1. No, this error should be gone by now. Okay, now I have to comment out this also. Just for your understanding, guys, I'm uncommenting them, okay? Commenting them, you can uncomment. Yeah. Now we have this another type error. So you can see the different kind of error, guys, we have got for so far. Few are saying that those are reference error. This not defined was a reference error, right? So if they ask like what kind of errors we have, what is the difference between, okay, so that's actually a good question. Okay. So this is I'm giving you for homework. Okay, guys, just let me know the differences between reference error, syntax error, and type error. Okay, next session I'll ask this question to you. Okay. Okay, now I think I should not be use this too. Okay, guys. Now let's quickly go back to our next slide. What we have here is, okay, we have logical operators. Okay, quickly we'll finish. We are having like just 5 minutes left for the meeting. Okay, so we have a couple of logical operators also, which we can use in our programming to check relationship between two primitives or different variables. Okay, we call them as the logical operators because they see that logically two values you can compare. Okay, this value is greater than this, or less than, or greater than equal to, less than equal to, or equal to, and or, all these things. This is quite basic, math operator like we learned, right? This is less logical operators. I hope you might have idea about this already. We'll be discussing quickly using an activity. So time for activity once again, guys. Activity number 5, checking relationship. Again, I would request you to go to session number 1 folder, create another file, name activity number 5. You can give checking relationship as well, and just try to write this thing and check the output of all these console log. Quick question here can be like, what is the difference between this triple equal to and double equal to? That I'll explain to you just now. Okay, let me just quickly copy only. Okay, if I ask you, right, how many important interview questions we have discussed so far in the sessions? How many? Is there anyone who can tell all the questions? Just post on the comment box. Okay, yeah, 3, 4. Just post down on the, just quickly one-liner questions, right? So that others can also note them down if in case they missed. Don't just type the number, guys. What are the actual questions? Exactly. Difference between let, where, and const. Okay. Difference between. Okay. What other questions then? JS is compiled. Okay. Compiled or interpreter. Fantastic. Sankalp. Ram has suggested undefined versus not defined. Right. Subro is between strict. Yeah. Let me just write. Okay, so we have two quick variables. Like I told you, right? We will be using let only always until unless we have some constant variable. Apart from that, everywhere we'll be suggesting to use let only. It's a good practice. It will be considered as a good practice. Okay. Yeah, you can see here for first four we got false, false, true, true, and for this false and true. Okay, I could have asked you guys what it will give as output. Okay. I'm not typing anything. Okay, guys, I just want you to tell me the line, like output of line number 69, 69, 70, 71, 72. What will be the output for all these six? Just let me know in the chat box. Yeah, you can write like false, true, true, false, like 6 times. What will be the output for all these 6? Combinedly, you can reply in the chat box. Still, I can see we have around 95, like 85 plus guys. I just want 85 responses in the chat box. So this is how we'll be learning, guys. If I ask questions, I just want you to quickly respond in the chat box. Yeah, F, T, T, anything you can write. Okay. Another quick thing I should say, okay, guys. So in JavaScript, like Python, it's not necessary that we use semicolon. See, without semicolon also, if I just try to run, it will run. But it is good practice. It is suggested as a good practice, okay? Even though without this also compiler, JavaScript compiler is like interpreter and compiler JIT. I can say it's quite intelligent. It can understand. It can differentiate. But yeah, it's a good practice to use let. It's good practice to use the semicolons after you finish every line, okay? This is just for better code readability. It's not for compiler or your machine or your CPU. It's for other fellow programmer or fellow code reviewer, I can say. Yeah, so false. Why false? Because A and B both are not exact, because those are both like different variables used let in order to declare, but I have 10 and 20. Okay. Now, if I write first time this, then what will be the output for line number 69, guys, now? False, 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 false. Okay. So line number 69 and 70, what is the difference you guys see? So most of the guys I can see they are writing false, but it will be now let me just write equal to C. Okay, let me now let me know the output of line number 70 and 71, guys. Okay, so what is going on here is, yeah, so it will be true. So basically, if you see this double equal to, right, it's just gonna check variable A and C, the values, right? I should write it will just check the values of two variables. We have two variables, name A and C, both I have like declared using let, that's fine. So values is like 10 and 10, right? So it is going to check the values only. Check only values. While in the other case, it will check the data type also. And values both. So what it will check, okay, we have this, okay, one second. Yeah, so basically this triple equal to is called a strict equality check. Strict means it will check the data type also. So for now here, let me just make it as a 10. Now it will be fine, I guess. Now what will be the output of line number 70 and 71, guys? Yep. So line number 70 says true. because it can just check the values, right? Value 10 and 10 are okay. But if you go to line number 71, it will say false. Why? Because value is okay, 10 and 10, but the data type is a string here and it's a number here. That's all. So another quick question for the interview they can ask. What about these other thing, guys? I hope these are clear to you. Equal to, not equal to, greater than, and all. This we have and we have or. I hope you know how that works. So that's all about today's session, guys. I think we have completed on time. It's just 5 minutes. We have completed 5 activities. We have learned a lot of things.